Would this work?
I am, if it's a weapon that was designed to kill people on a battlefield. Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15, your AK-47. We're not going to allow it to be used against our fellow Americans anymore.
And this is over Beto O'Rourke. As I said, he had the debate in 2020 against Joe Biden and the Democrats that ran for president. And apparently he's doing another political stunt here, trying to argue for certain things or cause a scene. And that's why we brought up this article here was, and I'm not trying to cause any, this is a horrifying thing. It's so close to where this Texas school shooting happened. And I seriously send my condolences and prayers to those families. But what this political person did was so foul, so horrifying. This is something I don't expect people to do after something like this happens to a community. But here's the actions of him.
Excuse me.
Sit down.
You're out of line and an embarrassment.
Sit down and don't play this stuff.
The next shooting is right now, and you are doing nothing.
No, he needs to get his ass out of here. This isn't the place to talk this over.
This is totally predictable when you...
Sir, you're out of line. Sir, you are out of line. Sir, you are out of line. Please leave this auditorium. I can't believe you're a sick son of a bitch that would come to a deal like this to make a political issue. It's on assholes like you. Why don't you get out of here?
GOP, guns over people. GOP, guns over people.
Every confirmation we have, for what it's worth, that's, if you thought that was Beto O'Rourke, we thought the same thing. Our folks on the ground appear to have confirmed that it was Beto O'Rourke, who just confronted the governor.
There are family members. There are family members who are crying as we speak. There are family members whose hearts are broken. There's no words that anybody shouting can come up here and do anything to heal those broken hearts. We all, every Texan, every American has a responsibility where we need to focus not on ourselves and our agendas. We need to focus on the healing and hope that we can provide to those who have suffered unconscionable damage to their lives and loss of life. We need all Texans to, in this one moment in time, put aside personal agendas, think of somebody other than ourselves, think about the people who are hurt, and help those who have been hurt.
So, after seeing that video and stuff, this CBS reporter went in and actually seen where the individual sat down, and we're gonna play this little clip or this little thing here let you understand.
Texas school shooting. CBS reporter calls Beto press conference appearance clearly staged. Beto O'Rourke crashed a press conference following Tuesday's Texas school shooting. CBS News suggested Beto O'Rourke likely staged his surprise appearance at Governor Greg Abbott's press conference on the deadly Texas school shooting Wednesday. Although the public was largely surprised by the Texas gubernatorial candidate interrupting Abbott while he provided updates on the mass shooting at Robb Elementary School, CBS correspondent Janet Shamlian, who was present at the conference, claimed the appearance was clearly staged. "Well, I did see what happened just before the press conference started. I was in the third row on the aisle, and there were two people across the aisle from me. And a moment before the press conference started, they got up from their seats when Beto walked in, so they were seat holders for him," Shamlian recounted. Then he sat down. So his presence wasn't really noticed in the 15 or 20 minutes that people were gathering inside, because he was not in the room. This seems something...
All right. There's your, that's what the lady here stated, that he came in, sat down, and it was a staged event. So, all this guy's trying to do is get brownie points. Again, I don't want to criticize or have any, political, trying to not make political heat around the family that's suffering, but this here, what he did was beyond what people should, people are grieving, and you should not interrupt or come into a press conference when the sitting governor is giving an address to the people of Texas or the grieving family to understand what was going on. And that's, why we made sure that the sitting governor's comments was also in there so people could understand what he did and how, the other governor reacted. And that's, but this is, a lot of people, here's the Daily Wire, they're throwing heat at it, and they're stating the same thing, CBS reporters, that this guy used they used this for a political, shot. He was looking for political points, and that's all he did this for. And that's why he not burst in through the doors, but he came in, sat down, then went and addressed the governor of Texas. And I think that's kind of a horrifying thing, that you could just walk in, sit down, and then stand up and just jump in somebody's face. And I heard some people in there shouting freedom of speech. And yes, you have freedom of speech, but if some governor or some individual is going, if it's just a regular person and they ask you to give a press briefing on the circumstances or situations going on with you or going on around you, would you prefer somebody to come in and knowing that there's bad things have happened, have somebody sit here and scream in your face and shout political talking points? And this is all this guy does. And the fact that he sits here and, as he stated in 2020, he wanted to ban assault rifles, AR-15s. And then he went to Texas and he said that he did not want to do that. So and now he's back to the same game where he's getting people's faces. Even after he got out of there, he went on to the press and stated that we need to, every person need to hand in their, AR-15s, their guns, all that stuff. You turn your guns over, and the thing is, criminals don't hand in their guns. So this is just a political stunt and trying to push gun control laws, which are already on the books, and that's where I think's ridiculous. People say we don't have strict. No, we have. The person, the 18-year-old, wrote out a background check for the firearm. As I looked into the information that was available in the public, and that's what it stated, that he filled out for a background check, he passed, he had no criminal record. So, the background check does not stop him. Now, some people said people should have security guards that are properly trained and sitting at one or two entrances or patrolling the area. That might be an option. That, has to go with the local communities. People are going to have to discuss this in a different environment. And that environment right now is not something, this is where I kind of hate that Democrat Party does this every time there's a shooting. They come out with their political talking points and they state, we need to take action now. We need to strip people of their guns. And people are just like, what? Like, we didn't get a day, not a two, to figure out what's going on. And now people are hounding other people about guns. And this, was it the Black Conservative? People want to go to his channel and check it out. He has one of his videos earlier, from yesterday, I think it was, where some people were actually taking some of the photographs of the victims' parents and then going and doing political research on them through Facebook, Twitter, and stuff, and finding out that they were gun supporters, things like that, and then making meme jokes or memes about the parents, creating hey, this is a gun, a person that is a gun carrier, a gun person that, and how to put this, because I don't want to, try and hurt the person that's, had stuff happen to them, honestly. But due to the fact that these individuals had guns and had them on social media, people took those photos and their gun photos and plastered them all over Twitter and mocked those parents that just lost their children. And I think, people like this politician here and people like those people on Twitter are very sick and disgusting people that have no concern for anybody else but their own agenda. They don't care who they hurt. They don't care who they destroy. They are literally just there to take normal citizens and rub their face in the ground and they stand over them and say, see, we're good and pure. And that's what these people, I mean, this is what this stunt was he came in there all high and mighty, yelling, screaming, did not give nothing, but attacked a press conference and had no reason to. He could have had this discussion 2 or 3 weeks later. It's the same, with any of these people. You do not try and make political, take political research and turn around and then use it against parents that have victims. They've actually had, lost their children. We'll put it this way. Somebody loses a child and then they turn around and realize on social media that somebody's making, hateful, mean jokes over that. I hope those parents literally sue every one of those Twitter people. I hope they find them, sue them, and if it's corporations or any of these Democrat political activists that come up in these press conferences, if they're behind it too, I hope, any of them, they all get sued till the damn cows come home. I hope something like it happens. Because I have no sympathy for people that want to take out, political attacks against people that have lost loved ones. And that is just the lowest of low in any part of humanity, is you to literally attack someone after they've had to sit here and try and figure out where they have to bury, their loved ones and stuff. These people are sick, twisted, and I really didn't want to do a video on this, but it's kind of got under my skin that these people think it's a funny joke to go out here and literally attack people and insult the parents while they sit around on Twitter, picking their noses and trying to figure out what they're doing next, who they're going to attack next. And that's just sick.